morning, everybody. How you
Good
doing?
morning.
Hopefully you enjoyed those last two songs. Um, the second to last song was "Brutal Love," and the last song was a rendition of "Fergalicious" uh, in the impression of Christopher Walken. And I gotta
Yeah.
say, I'm pretty fergalicious. Wow.
Yep. Make sure to join the Discord to learn the origins of why those songs even exist.
Oh boy. It's so dumb. It's so dumb, dude. Oh, I'm trying to make sure that I'm not getting any background noise, but if I laugh too hard, it shakes my whole shit. Oh, Dylan, it's 11 a.m., dude.
Yeah, I'm usually still eating breakfast around this time because I
Mm.
wake up at 10, but I woke up at 8 just so I could eat breakfast before this. So it was rough, but I did it.
I was up till 4 a.m. That way I didn't wake up my significant other while trying to get in bed. And then I woke up right at around 10:30, and let's just say it helps to have your stream ready before you wake up. That way you can
Hmm.
just sit down and kind of get into the swing of things. Um, Man, I was sleeping like a baby. I straight up did not want to wake up at all, and you know I did anyway because I'm a big boy with responsibilities, even though Twitch is kind of a poor excuse for responsibility.
Yeah. Yeah.
But that's besides the point. That's besides the point. Oh my goodness. A follow up for everybody. Welcome to the new Discussions at Brunch Time. It's 11 a.m. Eastern Time, and we're rocking in a free world here. I feel like a whole new man waking up before noon and
Yep.
stuff.
Yep. Yeah, unfortunately, Brutal Richard isn't streaming today, or at least not at his normal time, so we
Yeah,
probably could have streamed at our normal time, but
he
it's good to get used to this.
he has really started to push his stuff closer to noon and 5. So we are really just moving our schedule around um, just to do that because we don't have an issue waking up a little bit earlier or doing something ever so slightly later. uh,
Hmm.
and it's not a big issue. Discussions at brunch is staying on Saturday. We're just moving it to this time, 11 a.m. Eastern time, whatever that time is for you. That's 10 a.m. Central. That's 9 a.m. Mountain Time, and 8 a.m. Uh, West Coast time, Pacific time. There you go. I had to think about the actual stuff.
Yeah.
Um, Coffee talks, however, you're gonna have to wait a little bit longer for this week's coffee talk because we are moving it from Tuesdays at 6 p.m. Eastern time to Thursdays at 6 p.m. time. We're just gonna go ahead and move that one completely to a day that Brutal Richard doesn't stream, and that just makes life a little bit easier on us because sometimes that stream can be anywhere from an hour, and last time we did it, we were on for 3.
Yep.
So if we were to push it back any further, we'd be pretty toast for work the next day. I'm not gonna lie.
mm, yeah. Yeah. Need to get them 8 hours before a long day at work.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But well, we could stream for 4 or 5 hours probably,
Yeah,
max.
Ugh. Um, Another follow-up item. A couple of weeks ago, we were talking about Lego for our topic of discussion here at Discussions at Brunch, and I finally got in the Legos that I ordered. And so now, after this stream, I'm going to be putting together a Lego bonsai tree, dude.
Nice.
Yeah, I
I
had,
really pull the room together.
yeah, well, all the junk that I got lying around here. You never truly move into a house, right?
Hmm.
Um, But no, I'm super excited to put this Lego bonsai together. It's like the first actual box of Legos that I've bought since college. And it took a really long time for it to get here because they were on back order and then they went out of stock, which was even worse.
Yeah. Yeah, that sucks.
I was really afraid that I wasn't going to get my bonsai, and I'm a bonsai kind of guy.
It's
Um,
a popular Lego.
but yeah, let's get right into the fucking biscuits and gravy of this, dude. What are we talking about today?
We're going to be talking about the immortal genre of games that really sprung up around, I'd say, probably 2015-ish when PUBG came out.
I said
Is that
2012.
2012?
Yeah,
Okay.
I'd probably say 2012.
Yep. It's been around for a little bit and continues to be one of the most popular genres, I believe. Yep. Good old battle royales.
Hey, CL, glad you can make it. Thanks for the follow. Look at the follower goals, guys. We're at
Nice.
44. Let's
It's
go.
super early for CL. He's in West Coast, I think.
Yeah.
So
Woo, let's go. I don't think I could be too loud. It's 8 a.m., bruh. Hey, gotta get that early grind. You know what I'm saying? If you're not drinking coffee right now, you should drink some coffee. Or, you know, drink Red Bull like I'm doing. That's a healthy alternative.
good. You know, I actually heard that energy drinks aren't very good for your hair.
Yeah, I wouldn't doubt it.
Yeah, so
I don't care. I was really craving them, and ever since I got my gallbladder taken out, I've been able to drink everything, and so I've been drinking everything. But yeah, battle royales. I'm not too sure that there's a specific one that I want to start with, but I will go into a quick definition of what a battle royale is. A battle royale is where you start off in a multiplayer lobby, and then when the round starts, somehow people get dropped randomly, quote unquote randomly, onto the map, and then it's normally a last man standing situation. And there's lots of different types of battle royales out there, but the most popular battle royales normally involve people killing each other. So,
mm,
you know, gun shooty type things. But there are a couple of other ones out there that aren't exactly like that. But there are people that get eliminated, and yeah, last man standing. So there's your definition. I'm sure everyone who's currently watching has never played a battle royale in their life, and Grey Ghoul's favorite battle royale is obviously Fork Knife.
mm,
I
the
mean
classic.
Fortnite. Fortnite. My bad. I saw Crafter Wall earlier post, but it's still in early access, and he did like the SpongeBob things or whatever, it was a camel case or something close to it. Um, and I was like, is Fortnite still in early access? I'd be really upset if it was because I was just complaining last week how games just sit in early access for so effing long. And
Hmm.
nope, Fortnite dropped the early access um, title back in June of 2020. So, you know, they did
Yep.
they did sit, however, they did sit in early access for 3 years.
Yeah, yeah, that's way too long. But to be fair, they did just completely remake the original game to fit the
Yeah,
battle royale formula.
yeah. I'm gonna be honest with you. The Save the World game mode that they were initially developing, and then they're like, "Oh, we need a little bit more work on this. We'll just drop a battle royale to earn money." Save the World game wasn't exactly the greatest game known to mankind. Like, it was all right. It was a wave fighter, in all
Hmm.
honesty.
Yeah.
And I got to play it, but
It
Yeah,
wasn't
no.
anything special.
Um, I don't. I don't think early access is the only way that a battle royale can stay alive. In fact, Fortnite, as much as I hate to give props to fucking Fortnite, um, it's been 3 years since they've been out of early access, and they're still dropping content. They're still working with creators from different areas, Twitch, YouTube, um, fucking different franchises, Star Wars, fucking Dragon Ball Z. Um, you got to give props where props are due. And as much as I hate the Fortnite community and how money hungry Fortnite is, they know their market. They know that their market is mostly like 8-year-olds to 12-year-olds who can persuade their parents to grab the credit card and buy thousands of dollars of Fortnite, whatever the hell they're called.
Mm.
And then they get all these skins, and then they got the Fortnite. Fortnite for yeah, V-Bucks. Thank you. Fortnite has somehow given this new generation of gamers FOMO something fierce. I don't understand it. These kids will lose their flipping minds if they don't get the newest skin that comes out. And I think it all started off right at the beginning of the battle royale scene of Fortnite when they were like they didn't have any skins out there, and then they dropped that first set of skins. And like if you're a default player, you're not a good player. You're a noob, stuff like that. And it got embedded in these kids, and they got, for lack of better terms, they practically got cyberbullied into having fear of missing out. and
And
it's a great business plan.
let's not forget the popularity of the several different dances in
Oh,
Fortnite as
dude.
well.
Oh my god. Yeah, Epic just dialed in. I 100% agree. Epic saw the issue and they're like, that's not an issue to us. That's our solution. That's the money grab right there. These kids are flipping out, and we're just going to keep pushing out new skins, new dances, new emotes. Um, I will say I've had a similar experience, um, but not in a battle royale. This game had just dropped some new emotes, and the emote that I wanted was just about to go out of rotation. This is, of course, Destiny 2, and I wanted the Neon Ramen Bowl emote because that's like
Mm,
the
I have
best
a,
one. Yeah.
yeah, it's pretty good.
That one and the one where your character sits at like a dining table and just sips tea. I've taken a lot of good pictures around the Destiny 2 world like that.
Yeah, I had the one where he plays a guitar
Mm-hmm.
and the ramen eating one. Those are
Yeah.
like my two favorites.
Yeah, those are both just like super solid. And I like the ramen one because the ramen map on like Brawlhalla is like my favorite map to play on. So I was like, oh yeah, we'll just keep this theme of ramen and shit. All good. And also our plans to visit Japan to go to the ramen district, the Museum of Ramen.
It'll eventually happen. I mean,
I can do it
COVID kind
now.
of messed it up originally,
Yeah,
but
originally, and we put it on hold. But now, dude, I can eat food. I think the travel ban in Japan is finally starting to relax. Yeah, let's do it tomorrow. And then we'll.
tomorrow, yeah, we'll just go there for a day and then
Oh,
fly back the next day.
easy peasy, no problem. But let's talk about the actual. Let's talk about the actual battle royale of Fortnite. What is your opinion on the gameplay? On like what was your experience when you played Fortnite, if you can remember?
Uh, it wasn't too bad. I think I do kind of prefer third person type perspective games over first person a little bit
Mm-hmm.
because I don't know, I just like that perspective. I played a lot of like Gears of War and stuff when I was a
Yeah,
kid,
yeah.
so I really like that perspective. I think I play better in that. format. But the one thing that I didn't really like about the game is the building aspect. And I don't know, it was just weird, right? You like get into a fight with someone and then they build a whole apartment
Yeah.
complex right in front of you in like
Yeah.
3 seconds. And it's it's really like jarring for someone brand new to the game to see that and they're like, how do I get to that proficiency in this game, you know? Like
Oh.
it's intimidating, honestly. But yeah, and when they released like a no build mode, which
Hmm.
I think was very smart for them because I think the building aspect is a huge problem for a lot of people and the reason why a lot of people who haven't really gotten into the game. So I think that was a smart move for Epic to do that, and I think they kept it around too. So that was a good idea. It's not a bad game. Not a bad game. It's fun.
Yeah, so I've actually played. I played Fortnite last week. For one reason or another, I installed it because somebody was like, "Oh, I'm gonna." It's one of the streamers that I watch. Naze Fire. That's who was playing Fortnite. They had an update, and I was like, I bet I could download Fortnite, get into a game, and then uninstall the game faster than you could update it on your PS5. And sure enough, I was in fact able to. Um, I agree. The building aspect really threw me off. Um, I didn't like that aspect personally, but I could see the appeal for it. Hey, Ink Monsters! Hello! I'm so glad you're able to join. Um, Everyone, if you don't remember Ink Monsters is normally one of the D&D streamers that we raid into. So
Nice.
I'm so glad that we get to see your face here. Welcome, welcome. But the build mode in Fortnite was like that was like Fortnite's niche, right? That was like the thing that made it different from other battle royales. You know, it's like we're quirky. Uh, but I went with the very first Fortnite game that I played. I just got done with like doing PUBG tournaments, right? Um, awesome. If you want, we in fact do have a lurk command. That way, there's no pressure for anyone to try to interact with you and stuff like that. So feel free to use that exclamation lurk. Fantastic. Um, when I first played Fortnite, I played with a group of friends, and I this was way before no build was even a thing. This was almost at the peak of like people really getting into like skyscrapers and shit, like
Mm,
build offs and whatnot. And I just refused to do it back when it was building primarily.
mm-hmm.
I just played it like a battle royale, like I played all my other battle royales. And we won 3 games in a row, and I did decently well. I didn't die. I got like 5 to 7 kills each game. It wasn't anything crazy. And last week I played and I did the no build mode, and I did okay. I didn't win the game. Um, I didn't win the game, but it it wasn't a terrible experience. I just personally I don't like the feel of Fortnite. It's like kind of mm, it's floaty. Everything just feels kind of weird. The hit markers don't feel like 100%. But I
Yeah.
can't I can't hate on it too much because it's literally like a cartoon battle royale, while they're like PUBG or I don't even know if H1Z1 is still a fucking game, but H1Z1 or well, at the time that didn't exist, but like CS:GO was one of the big games that I was playing at the time. Not the battle royale, just like the regular stuff. So all of these things that like are supposed to be like realistic shooters and whatnot, and then like going over the Fortnite, it's like this feels weird. It doesn't have the same kind of thing going on with it. But
Yeah. And there were other like cartoony style battle royales like what was that most recent one? Rumble versus or something like that? Rumbleverse? It was like
Oh.
a wrestling battle royale.
Oh, yeah, 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 yeah. I think I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, it was. I heard a lot of good things. Unfortunately, they weren't quite making enough money to keep it going, so
Hmm.
they had to shut down the servers like I think a month ago or so.
Yeah.
But it looked super fun. I never played it myself, but it looked really fun. It was like very interesting take on the battle royale formula because it was a fighting game. There was no guns or anything like that, and it was just your typical battle royale with fists and special moves.
Yeah.
So
Um, moving on from Fortnite. Sorry, overall opinion of Fortnite. It's not a bad game. In fact, it's actually a really good game. It's not the game for me. Um, the
it's the
people that Epic,
community.
yeah, the community is really bad. I can't stand the community, mostly because me and like actual children just don't get along.
Mm,
I can't stand like that maturity level difference. It hurts my brain.
start screaming at some little
Yeah.
kids.
Yeah, yeah, I just nah, not for me. Uh
Yeah.
but it's not a terrible game. If you want to play Fortnite, play Fortnite. If building's not your thing, don't worry. They have the no build mode, and I think that they've actually got a couple of maybe one or two more game modes that you can try out too. Um, joined off of a friend. Yeah, yeah. It's kids are weird, dude. We've all been there. I think there was like a moment in our life where we were super annoying
Oh
to like
yeah.
older kids,
Oh yeah.
but I gotta admit, I'm almost positive that I stopped being annoying around age 6 because I just started like that was like the era of starting like my phase of being angsty and depressed all the time due to my family situations and whatnot. So I'm not gonna go in depth on that. I'm not gonna trauma dump here. I'm just saying like I've been pretty stoic for a long time.
Yeah, when I was 10, the big game was Halo 3 and I talked a lot in while playing those games. I remember people talking to me be like, "Hey, you talk a lot." So, I don't even
Oh,
remember what I talked about. I just talked constantly. I'm sure I was super annoying to all my teammates.
um, let's turn some gears here. I want to take you back in time. Okay, I want you to close your eyes and think of fields of cubes. And I want you to, you're standing there and you're walking. You hear the crunch beneath your feet, and then you in the background, all you hear is, and next thing you know, you're spawned right in the middle, and you're in this ring, and in the middle you see chests on a wooden pillar, and all of a sudden, you're in Minecraft Hunger Games. Boom, boom. Honest to God, Hunger Games is. I think the first movie's okay.
Mm.
Now, everyone knows the reason why Hunger Games is popular is because they actually copied from an Asian film. I think that's literally just called Battle Royale, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Yes, yes, it was.
so Hunger Games is a battle royale. They took it from the movie Battle Royale, and Minecraft Hunger Games came along as soon as that movie came out because people were like, "Oh gosh, that's a dope idea," and then that's where all these games came from, and we can thank Battle Royale and Hunger Games for making it popular.
Mm-hmm.
But man, I cannot tell you how many games of Minecraft Hunger Games that I played.
It is honestly very like impressive how they managed to make a Hunger Games game mode using like nothing but like server side stuff.
Yeah, they there were some mods, right? Because like you had the mini map mod
Mm.
normally, and then like you'd also they had like when it came down to like the last 4 people, every minute or so they'd like get struck with lightning, but they wouldn't take damage from said lightning, like so that way
Yeah.
you could see like where the players were on the map and stuff. Um, but damn, I just that very first Minecraft Hunger Games, like you played it and you're like, ah, this is gonna be fucking lame, and then you run for your life and you hide in the woods and you find some chests and you get some armor and you kill your first man or your first woman or your first non-binary person, and you're like, oh yeah, the dopamine. And you're like, oh shit,
Yep.
they had an enchanted bow, let's go.
Yep. Always right out the gate, just sprint, just right when you spawn in, right into that first cave or right
Mhm.
that first forest, wherever the nearest chest is. Some maps had like big skyscrapers and stuff. Those were cool maps.
Yeah, the city maps are really cool. I thought that was an interesting take. But then, just like the one where you're like in the Terra Dome,
Mm-hmm.
it's like,
Yeah, that one's pretty good. That was
yeah.
a classic.
um, but they did it. Whoever made that very first mod knew what they were doing. They knew what they had in their hands, and they could not have dropped it at a better time. It was insane timing,
Mm-hmm.
and they jumped on it. So my question to you is, Dylan, what kind of play style are you in Minecraft Hunger Games? Are you a guy that goes right towards the middle and bites people right off the get? Are you the person that goes out into the forest and then like tries to get stuff there and then goes looking out for trouble? Or are you the type of guy like are you like a Rue player? Are you kind of just hanging around out in the trees, like hoping people don't see you? And then like when it comes down to like the last few people, you sneak up on them and do some big boy damage. Like what's your normal play style?
I like to play the outer edge. I like to get equipped with some basic gear before I actually try and fight anyone. Usually,
Mm-hmm.
that's how I usually play. A little bit of a rat, a little bit of a sneaking around, a little bit of a.
I get you. I'm definitely the type of person who like lays traps. Like I'm gonna stay in this cave right around this corner, and when somebody comes around, I'm gonna just straight up go buck wild on them.
Mm,
Just Baba Yaga them. And
just jump out screaming and flailing your
woo,
sword.
uh, but no, I mean, people get upset no matter how you play the game. So you might as well play the game how you want to play it.
Mm.
I see it's like, why are you killing people right from the get go? Why don't you give them a chance? Or why why are you coming out of the woods with all that gear? Or why'd you sneak up on me? It's like, well, it's survival. Is the whole
I'm,
point is to
yeah,
survive.
I'm playing to win. Okay.
Yeah. But man, Minecraft Hunger Games, that was a
Mm.
damn good time in my childhood, and probably college.
Just a little bit.
Oh, all right, Dylan. Lead us into the next one. You've got the list next to you. You're doing your
Uh,
checklist. What do you want to talk about
it's,
next?
I kind of want to talk about a more recent one that we both played together
Yeah.
quite a bit, called Vampire the Masquerade Blood Hunt.
Oh,
It's
pretty.
it's a more recent game, more recent battle royale, and the whole premise behind it is you play as vampires, and you're normal battle royale. You pick up guns, pick up armor and stuff, and then you fight each other, and then the last one standing is the winner.
Yep.
But the unique thing about this is that you have a lot of like NPCs who are running around who are vampire hunters who can kill you. If you're playing solo or with a team, your teammates can actually revive you, and when you're solo, you actually have lives, so you can
Hmm.
revive yourself, which is pretty cool. and every vampire clan has their own like abilities and stuff like that. So it's kind of a little bit like Apex, where you have characters with their abilities, and there's a lot of customization for your character
Oh
too.
yeah.
Like you can change what everything they have, like their skin tone, their like tattoos, their piercings, their everything.
Yeah.
It's really really cool, and the guns in it are uh, are just your typical, like you got submachine guns, pistols. There's some unique ones like the crossbows that have explosive bolts and stuff.
Yep.
It's a very fun game. I really enjoyed it. Like you just climb up buildings and a lot of fights take place on top of buildings, but it's I really liked it. It's a good battle royale.
Yeah, I gotta admit, out of all the like, how do I put this? If you have a vampire power fantasy from like back when you were in high school or in middle school, because you read Twilight or you watched the Twilight movies or you were fascinated with vampires before that because of fucking Blade, which was my inspiration to be like, oh
Oh yeah.
man, vampires are fucking dope. Um, Blood Hunt is most definitely your game. It's got so much lore, and like even though it's a battle royale, it's got story sidelines for
Mm-hmm.
Christ's sake, where you
Yep. You got
start
like
learning about the shit that's going on within the city and like how
yep.
you got into this predicament.
Mm-hmm.
And it's I think that this game does so much right that makes sense for it. I think if other games tried to imitate it, they wouldn't have as good of a time. But like solo player, and you have a couple of, I think you get 3 lives, right? In
Yes.
total,
Yeah.
your starting life, your extra life, your last life. Um, that is genius, in my opinion. The fact like, and there's like lore behind it. It's like, oh yeah, because vampires are immortal, yada yada yada. I'm not gonna go in depth about it, but it's fantastic what they've done to it. And if you don't know, Vampire the Masquerade did not start off as a battle royale. In fact, I do believe it started off as a tabletop RPG game, and then, if I'm not mistaken, I think that there are 3 games that came out that are Vampire the Masquerade that are like the Sherlock Holmes style type game, if you've ever played that.
Mm-hmm.
And I think there's 3 of those that came out, and then they dropped this because people are like, oh, well, what if the clans are fighting? And they're like, oh shit, you know what? You're absolutely right. That would be dope. So just to give everyone a quick idea, I'm gonna run through the kind of the clans, right? So I think this lore is pretty fucking good. And I think they did a lot of good work on it, and just like the looks of the different clans just flowed so good with like kind of what they're trying to portray. So you've got the Ventrue, that's the clan of kings. They're kind of like the uppity folk. They're wearing suits, they're wearing ties, kind of like your your street tech wear looking fellas. And they practically think that they're better than everyone else. You've got the Bruja. They're like the brutes of the vampire clans. Super passionate. You normally see these guys with like melee weapons or like shotguns, stuff like that. A lot of their abilities keep them alive for a lot longer in battle. After Bruta, we've got Nosferatu. And Nosferatu to me is like one of the oldest of the vampire clans. They're really kind of like the quintessential idea of a vampire, where they're sneaky, they fly around. They give me a really big underworld vibe if you've ever watched those movies. Nosferatu are my favorite to play. You got the Toreador. These guys are like the artsy fartsy kind of clan.
Yeah, the Pretty
Um,
Boy Clan.
yeah, the Pretty Boy Clan, and they're the
Sparkle
one that's like
vampires.
they're about like seduction and stuff like that. Um, and yeah, that's all the ones that they have out right now. And it's a fun game. I don't know. Whoops, I got so excited there. It's a fun game. I mean, Dylan gave a pretty good overview of it, but like something more in depth. Like you've got the bad NPCs which try to kill you, but like they're guarding loot and shit. But then you just have like regular NPC people, and like they'll have like symbols on their. It's not symbols. They glow a certain color when you use your vampire vision, and if you get 3 colors in a row, it gives you the bonus. So like there's orange, blue, yellow, and red or something like that. I'm not too good with colors. But like if you get like 3 orange people in a row, like you suck their blood, it gives you a bonus for whatever. And then if you go to kill another player character and you siphon their blood out of them, it expands that that bonus power slot. So I think the max that you can have is 3, and then the more people that you siphon out of the actual player characters, you can increase the amount of like non PC character buffs that you can absorb, which is super
Hmm.
dope. Which has really effed us over a couple of times in the game
Yeah,
where you just see
yeah.
this guy who's got like 8 fucking buffs. You're like, oh, okay,
Yeah, those buffs really do add up. It definitely gives you an advantage.
yeah, it's
So you definitely want to go around and fight as many people as possible
mm-hmm.
if you want to win.
And it's just a damn good game. I think.
And there's another mechanic that I think is pretty cool. Is there's a mechanic where if you break the masquerade, you become hunted and
Mm-hmm.
you're highlighted to everyone around you. So, like, if you suck an NPC's blood in front of another NPC, they'll run away screaming, which will alert everyone on the map to where you are, and things like that. Killing NPCs, especially, uh, marks you.
Innocence.
Yes, yeah, innocent NPCs, like just normal people going about their day, will alert you to everyone on the map. You'll be highlighted red for like, I don't know, a minute or something like that.
It's 3.
3?
I am
Yeah,
positive it's 3 minutes. It is, and
it's
that three
rough.
minutes is hell.
Because everyone on the map knows exactly where you are.
Yeah, I don't know if you remember, because it has been a minute since we've played that game, but they do like the battle pass thing, so they give you like daily quests and shit. Having to kill 6 people while blood hunted or being blood hunted for 20 minutes. Oh my
Yeah,
god.
it is rough.
That makes the game from enjoyable to hell. Just you start losing interest in the game because you're just like, I'm constantly being targeted and I can't do anything.
Hmm.
But overall, um, that game is fun. And
Hmm.
Dylan and I's normal playstyle for this game is not to jump right into combat. In fact, normally we look for areas that people aren't dropping into, and we'll take like lower ranked loot. Oof. And from there, we'll get like our buffs up, and then we'll kind of go around and just slowly increase our stuff as we go on. But with Dylan, we've won, I don't know, close to 10 games out of
Yeah,
the entire
yeah,
time that we played.
we got pretty good at the game, honestly. I think anyway, because we would regularly get several kills every match.
Mm-hmm.
We were getting pretty good at the game.
Um, I will say this. This is something that we haven't touched on yet, but it does apply to every battle royale, and I'd like to say any kind of competitive shooter, and that's hackers. Um,
Mm,
but Blood Hunt does not have too many hackers on there, but I will say it does from time to time have a significant amount of bots.
hmm.
You'll just see like a dude walking up against the wall, or just like randomly
Hmm.
climbing and like walk in front of you, just not even paying attention. Like, oh, okay, that's a free easy kill right there. Tasty. And of course, if you want to restore your health, by the way, there's not health packs. You're a fucking vampire. You suck the blood of an NPC and you move on with your day.
Yep.
Quintessential.
Easy peasy. Health kits just walking around.
Yeah, everywhere. So easy to find. All right, let's move on. Vampire the Masquerade, damn good
Very good
battle
game.
royale.
Yep. Highly recommend.
Mm-hmm. We
It
touched
is
on
free to play too.
Yeah,
Hmm?
yeah, it is free to play. So if you're interested in that game, highly recommend it. We touched on Apex Legends while we were talking about this. Let's go ahead and talk about Apex Legends. Do you want to start? You want me to start?
Sure. Yeah, I'll start.
Okay.
Definitely. I think I really enjoy Apex Legends. I jump into it every so often. I think they were like the first battle royale to do like unique characters with ultimates and abilities and stuff. And it's a movement shooter, so you can like slide around because everything's like all greased up and stuff, so you can just slide for
Mhm.
half a mile. And the guns in the game feel really good. I think there's a good variety of different weapons. The maps, for the most part, are good. There's some maps that I don't really like. They have a lot of maps too. That's another thing with
Yeah.
that game is there's a huge map variety.
Except the
And
rotation kind of sucks.
yes, yeah, there's like a rotation every 2 hours or something like that. The map changes, and it's a very good game. It's based in the Titanfall universe. So if you've ever played the excellent first-person shooters, Titanfall, it's the same like universe, except for the mechs don't exist in this setting or in this like area. This I don't think there is any characters that can use mechs. But it's very very fun. Lots of movement, lots of different strategies to the game. The competitive part of the game, I have a lot of experience in. I got to like Diamond, I think, once back when they first released. I think it was the big like airship map. I forget what it's called.
King's Island or some shit
I
like that.
I don't remember. It's but it was that was around when I really got into it. They released the one Horizon. That's her name. Horizon. She can like throw a black hole and
Yeah,
stuff. And
she's new.
I played her a lot.
Well,
She
newer.
was really fun. And the game is super fun. I really like it. I kind of wish they didn't completely abandon Titanfall for it because Titanfall is also a very good game. But it's a very good game though. It's free to play too, and the one thing I do like the most about it is probably the battle pass because the battle pass will refund you the entire amount that you paid for it and more if you complete it.
Yep.
So you can just keep buying the battle pass. You only have to buy one as long as you play the game enough anyway. And
Definitely
which
takes
is
some
very cool.
dedication.
Yeah. I really like it. It's a good sci-fi battle royale type game.
All right. I like Apex Legends. I like everything that Apex Legends has done. In fact, I've been playing Apex Legends before it was publicly available. I was given a beta key, and I played competitively in Season 0, right? Here's my issue. Brain dead teammates.
Yeah. I hate playing that game with randoms.
People who are random, right? If you go in and you try to play like a 3-man game with randoms, you're not going to have a good time. I've never once had a good game with a random.
Mm-hmm.
And the community, and this is a big problem with a lot of games, the community sucks hard.
Oh yeah.
They're
they're
so
pretty
toxic.
competitive. Mm-hmm.
And everyone, it doesn't matter if it's like just a normal game or like they're holding an event, everyone is flippin' sweaty. It is crazy how sweaty they are. It bothers me so bad because sometimes you just like I want to play a battle royale and I don't want to put too much effort into it. But I want it to look nice. And
Hmm.
my favorite character is Bloodhound. I absolutely adore Bloodhound. If you've got, I've said this multiple times before, if you have a Plague Doctor skin, I'm gonna play that character.
Yep, they are a pretty cool character. I really like their design and their abilities. Their
Hmm.
abilities are really cool,
And
really useful.
there was, I remember season 0, nobody played Bloodhound, and it was fantastic because it means that I had the advantage because I was one of the very few people who actually knew how to play Bloodhound correctly. And if you get into a group of friends and you have Bloodhound sight and tracking available and no one else in the game has that, you you're literally like cheating. Like there's no other way to put it. Um, but then I will say Apex Legends' biggest downfall is fine tuning and optimization. They're not so good about that.
Hmm.
They suffer the same thing that every game does, where they come up with a new character idea, they drop it, and either the character's super powerful and busted, or they don't do jack. Um, and a perfect example is when Caustic was released. I remember
Yeah.
when Caustic first came out, dude, broken. You could not play a game successfully if you went up against a team that had Caustic on it. It
Yeah,
was good.
and then they like nerfed him too much, so he was like completely useless for a little bit,
Yep.
and they it took them a while to get him to a good place.
Yeah. I would say now that a lot of characters feel really good now. I have no issue with any characters. My issue now is the guns. Sometimes, like, somebody will find a really good gun in a season, and instead of maybe like just tweaking it, they're like, "We're gonna overhaul this weapon," and then it comes
Mhm.
back and it's just awful. What was the triple take? I think is a great example of like a sniper that just got completely obliterated by an update.
Yeah, yeah, they changed it from a sniper to an energy weapon, so they like reduced its stats and stuff to
Yep,
kind of like be like, oh, this isn't a sniper anymore; it's a marksman rifle, so it does less damage now. And
and it's not good. It's
mm,
not good. But yeah, I love the way that Apex Legends looks. I like the story behind
oh yeah,
Apex Legends. I feel like a lot of the mechanics are super fucking smooth. Sometimes the queue for it is a little long, all things
hmm,
considered.
especially
Um,
if you have a full team.
yeah. But other than that, I mean, it's a good game. Just don't play with
Yeah,
randoms.
and another thing I really enjoy is the characterization of the characters. Like they're all super interesting and unique, and they got
Hmm.
like every different type of person is a character in this game. It's really cool.
Now, not based on playstyle. I mean, you can base it off playstyle, but you don't have to. Top three characters for one reason or another.
Uh, I really like I said before, Horizon,
Hmm.
because
That's the Magic School Bus lady,
yeah, I
Miss
like her
Frizz.
accent, her voice, and her just character personality overall, and her abilities.
Hmm.
And I just like everything about that character. And the Mirage, I really
Hmm.
like Mirage. I think he's hilarious, and his abilities. I kind of miss the way he used to work.
Yeah.
Um, they're kind of bringing it back with his ability to like go back invisible again with his ultimate and stuff. And I would have to say my third favorite is Echo. I think his name is the guy with the drone,
Yeah.
or Cipher, or
Yeah.
whatever his name
It's.
is.
I'm almost positive it's Echo.
Echo. Okay, yeah, he. I played him a lot too because I really like playing characters that are really good at getting intel. The and he's like the best at it because he can send out his drone and his drone can spot enemies and stuff, and it's really useful. It's my top three.
My top three would probably be Bloodhound. Like I said,
Hmm.
I really love Bloodhound. Bloodhound has, I think, two Plague Doctor skins, and then they also Bloodhound is a non-binary character, by the way.
Yeah.
For anyone who is like, is Bloodhound a man? Is Bloodhound a woman? Bloodhound canonically is a non-binary character, but they are voiced by someone who has a feminine voice. They've changed Bloodhound's voice a little bit. They've added a little bit more modulation to it, but they are in fact voiced by a feminine person, or at least someone with a feminine presenting voice. So put that out there in the world. The whole idea of Bloodhound is kind of to keep them ambiguous. So canonically, they are non-binary. My next favorite character would probably be Bangalore. I really like her.
She's cool.
She's very well-rounded. She's like your military tech type lady. And her abilities are just really good for engaging fights and also leaving fights. Like she's really well-rounded. Yes, we're still talking about Apex.
It's a good game.
And my last character, this is tough because I'm caught between two, and the two are Gibraltar.
Oh yeah,
and
I
Revenant.
love his personality.
I like Gibraltar because he's just a funny guy.
Yeah, he's the guy everyone wants to be friends with.
Yeah, Gibby is like, he's your buddy. Like he's super relaxed. He's super tanky, and if someone's playing Bangalore, you should probably play Gibraltar. Their abilities literally complement each other. Their lore is that they were literally in the same squad together back when that was the thing, when they were mercenaries or whatever. Revenant I like because he just looks so fucking badass.
He does.
And Revenant has actually, this might, I don't know, I'm going to say it anyway. Revenant's character design has inspired the furry community something fierce. And I don't think that's a bad thing, because I think Revenant is a fucking dope character overall. And when he was first released, he was busted and broken. If you saw somebody playing Revenant, just run the other way. It doesn't matter what weapons they have, how many kills they have, you ran the other way, because he was so broken and he's so fucking scary.
Yeah, his silence ability was just dumb. It was just so dumb.
You just see like a portal, like just sitting there in the middle of the field, like, there's a Revenant around, we need to not be here.
Yeah.
But yeah, those would have to be my. I copped out. There's a tie for third. I can't help it. But man, character design in Apex Legends is fucking dope. There's no other way to say it. All right. I'm gonna have a sad talk here. That's for PUBG. Shaking my head.
Yep.
A game that started off so strong. A game that started off from small beginnings has fallen oh so very far. PlayerUnknown Battlegrounds was my favorite, without a doubt, favorite Battle Royale. I played that game competitively. I placed relatively well every game, and it was really good. And Fortnite came out, and they were feeling the pressure. They were feeling the pressure, something fierce. At the time of their release, their only competitor was truly H1Z1. And I'm going to be honest with you, it wasn't a competition. PUBG was kicking their ass 110%. And it was a damn good game. And of course, if you have such a following that people ask you to turn your Arma 3 mod into a full game, you know it's good. You know what you have in your hands is liquid gold. But when Fortnite came out, they started changing stuff up. They started to be more memey. They started being quirky. Next thing you know, PUBG goes from this like kind of intense realistic shooter to this kind of almost funny in a dad trying to be funny kind of way game.
Mm-hmm.
And they started adding a lot of stuff. I'm talking adding maps, adding guns, adding literally just anything that they could add. The battle pass, they added that. They the problem with what they did is that PUBG continuously focused on adding to the game and they never optimized the game. So then as they kept adding more stuff and required the server to load more things for people to do on the game, it caused a lot of lag issues. Its netcode started getting worse and worse and worse. And next thing you know, people can't open doors anymore. People can't drive vehicles anymore. People's hits aren't landing. And it's not because people had bad internet. It's because the developers gave up on trying to optimize the game because they were trying to stay with Fortnite and the amount of content that they were able to release. And the thing with Fortnite is that when they release something, half the time it's just a skin. It's not anything groundbreaking. You know, they figured out what their niche was building, and Fortnite had that single map for the longest time with the same guns for the longest time. Fortnite had done what they needed to do, and they were focused on microtransactions and reskins. That was it. So they were able to keep pushing out all this new content. The thing with PUBG is that you unlocked stuff differently. You unlocked like pieces of clothing. And they also were adding guns because like, oh, well, we want to have better guns. And it just PUBG is still a game that you can play. It's still around. But most people will tell you to this day that PUBG Mobile is more optimized than the computer version. And that's not a lie. And
It's kind of funny.
it's heartbreaking to me. I've spent so much time on that game. I've created such great memories with PUBG, and it's practically unplayable for me at this point because of just how unoptimized it is. And it's super sad. Dylan, I don't know what your thoughts are, but I'm gonna let you talk about PUBG for a little bit. I went on my little sad rant. I feel the atmosphere kind of come down, so hopefully you can bring it back up for us.
So the one and only time I ever played PUBG was with you, I think, pretty sure. And I remember climbing up a radio tower and then dying on that radio tower and just waiting there watching you guys play the rest of the match. That was that was my only experience in the game.
Yeah, yeah, go ahead.
I didn't play it very much.
My normal playstyle in PUBG is the sit and wait kind of thing because there's buildings and stuff like that. And that's to me, that's the best way to play. You know, a lot of people find it boring, but at the time, the higher you placed in the game, the more in-game currency you got, which means that you could buy more in-game. This was at the time that like loot boxes were still really popular, so you know, I was working on that grind, working on the XP, working on milestones and stuff like that. So those games aren't short, by the way. Like they're like 45 minutes long.
Mm-hmm.
And Dylan just like, well, that was a nice television program.
Yeah, for real. It was super early on in the game too.
Yeah.
That was awful. I that was a bad first time experience for me, and that that was enough for me to refund the game, so I never played it again.
It is free to play now. So if you wanted to get back into it, you could, but I don't see much point in doing it. I'm pretty sure PUBG's gonna die if it hasn't yet. I think it's really popular in China still,
Hmm.
because that's where all battle royales are super popular for whatever the fucking reason is.
Yeah, I feel like Warzone kind of took over the military battle royale kind of
Yeah,
thing from PUBG, the kind of like modern military
yeah. Let's go
thing.
ahead. Let's go ahead and talk about that. PUBG makes me sad. Let's talk about Warzone. I hate Warzone with a burning passion.
Okay.
I don't think that that's a very fun game at all. Simply because I am not a huge. How do I put this? I don't like new era Call of Duty, like where you get like
Fair.
these super advanced technological weapons. Out of the newest Call of Duties that have come out, Cold War and World War II have been my favorite Call of Duties out of recent years. I just I don't see the appeal of like adding these like futuristic warfare weapons. Like I don't care about that stuff. Um, it's kind of cool in like Black Ops, you know, because
Hmm.
like oh yeah, this is like a Cold War tech that we were developing but ended up not needing. So that's why you see it in the game, but like not actually in real life. I'm like yeah, yeah. I like those style of the games, and Warzone sadly takes after a lot of the newer tech stuff in Call of Duty
Yeah,
and
like the near future, or uh, I think
alternate
that's what it's called,
timeline. Yeah, it's
near future
near
tech.
future tech and warfare. Um, but my biggest issue, I would have to say, is probably that I'm colorblind. I can't see anything in Warzone whatsoever. It's so hard to differentiate people from the surrounding areas. And it's Call of Duty paced too. So you've got like all these people like constantly running around, and you have to use cash, right, to like get stuff if I'm remembering correctly.
Some things, yeah.
Yeah, like not like in-game cash, but like that's like the thing that they give you for killing people is like cash, and you can like take that to like a trader or something and spend it on like a weapon upgrade or what have you. I mean, it's not terrible. I'd rather just play zombies or just like an actual game of deathmatch or domination. Um,
My in my limited experience with Warzone, I actually landed in the because there's a lot of times they'll add like popular maps to the map,
yeah,
and there was a zombies map added to it where you could actually fight and kill the zombies, which I thought was pretty cool.
it's
That's my experience with the battle royale.
it's like when PUBG came out with Infection, right? Um,
Hmm.
and Call of Duty obviously did Infect first. If you remember, I think that was oh geez, it's been so long. Um, God, was that like Call of Duty Modern Warfare? Maybe the OG
Which,
Black Ops.
huh?
But like Infected, where
Eh,
like you use the weapons around, and like there was one guy who played the zombie, and
Oh.
they just had like they had a knife. Knives are one hit kills, but obviously it's melee, so you had to get close.
Hmm.
Um, and that was the basics of the game. That game mode is super fun. And if that's in Warzone, I bet that game mode is relatively more fun than the actual battle royale itself, where it's
Yeah.
like you versus the zombies and like everyone kind of plays together. That's fun. But I'm not a huge fan of Warzone. I'm not a huge fan of the new Call of Duties, so my opinion's probably biased.
Makes
Um,
sense.
the guns, I mean, the gunplay is Call of Duty. So if you like Call of Duty gunplay, then you're gonna like the gunplay in Warzone. It's a little bit different. They've got a couple of different weapons there, um, but I guess My biggest gripe with Call of Duty, not with Warzone, is all the shit that you unlock for Call of Duty. Half the time you're unlocking for Warzone and not the actual game that you're playing, and that really
Mhm.
makes me upset. Because I want gun skins for in-game that I'm playing, not for a game that I don't want to play.
Yeah, yeah.
Or the fact that like Warzone, I don't know if this is true anymore, but back when Warzone was big and you bought a new Call of Duty game, it automatically installed Warzone with your Call of Duty. That's super fucking annoying. It's like, oh, I already have to install a 100 gigabyte game. Let me just throw Warzone on top of it too. Like, great. Um, but I don't know. Warzone's not for me. A lot of people enjoy it. If you don't like Warzone because of the community, or you're just not a huge fan of Call of Duty and you want something a little bit different, don't you fret. I'm going to talk about a game that's not on Dylan and I's list that he probably knows about, but probably hasn't played a single game of.
Hmm.
And that's the CSGO Battle Royale.
I've never even heard of it. Didn't even know
CSGO,
that existed.
yep, CSGO does in fact have a Battle Royale mode, and it's awful to me. I hate it. I'd rather just play CS:GO. I like the tactics of CS:GO.
Hmm.
The CS:GO Battle Royale, you definitely use money for everything. You constantly have your buy screen. When you kill somebody, you get money and you can buy a better weapon, yada yada yada. That's not to say that you still can't find weapons lying around, because you can, but if you want a more realistic shooter, kind of like CS:GO is compared to Call of Duty, CS:GO has a Battle Royale mode. That's a loud truck.
Hmm. I
Um,
heard it.
yeah, it's you gotta love living in the Midwest. There's a lot of compensation around here. Um, it's it's not a terrible game. It's not my game though. Um, some people play it. I don't know if it's still active. But that's a battle royale that you could play, and it's damn near close to Warzone. I'm going to talk about another battle royale game. I'm doing some quick
Okay.
lists here.
just going off.
Yeah, I'm
There's a lot of them.
I'm going to do another one. This one I actually had a lot of fun with, and that's Super Animal Royale. Um,
Hmm.
that's a 2D battle royale game. That's kind of designed with. Have you ever played like Nuclear Throne?
Yeah.
So
I
the
have.
shooting style is very similar to Nuclear Throne. And they've got a couple of different like game versions and whatnot. They have an Infect game mode, which is super fucking fun. Um, but they also just have like regular stuff, and they mimic Fortnite and like kind of the haha funny factor. But everyone's like an animal, right? And like the whole point of playing the games is to get animal DNA to continue on. And I'd have to, if I had to compare like what the graphics look like, what is that fucking Netflix anime called about the Agretsuko? Um,
Yeah. Okay.
it's kind of based on that really. The art style. It is you're playing cute animals, all right, but you have an AK-47, deagles, and shit like that. It's fun. It's like one of the most relaxed battle royales there are out there, and I will have to say that this is, other than like Vampire the Masquerade, which community is extremely acceptable. SAR, Super Animal Royale, the community is loving and accepting. They are the most considerate people known to man, and you can have a good time just chatting. It's fantastic. It's a wonderful time. Um, but yeah, those are some honorable mentions that I wanted to talk about. And if anyone wants to play either of those games, I'm pretty sure CS:GO is free to play now. It's been that way for a long time, I think, actually.
Hmm.
And Super Animal Royale is also free to play, but of course, with any free to play game, there is a paid mode where you get like premium stuff, and you're more than welcome to do that. No hate against you.
Support the developers.
That's right. Um, here's an old game that you can relate to. Remember RoboCraft?
Oh, I remember RoboCraft.
Did you know that there's a battle royale for RoboCraft now?
Really?
Yeah, yeah. I've
Huh.
never played it, I've never played it because I couldn't wrap my head around that. But there is, in fact, a RoboCraft Battle Royale. How active it is, how good it is, no idea. I've been too afraid to play it, but it popped up in my library one day. I'm like, huh, that's weird.
Yeah.
For anyone who's unfamiliar with what RoboCraft is, it's in the name. RoboCraft. You build robots, and then you pilot those robots, and you do cool stuff. And most of the time, you're just fucking around. Like, I'm going to build a plane, or I'm going to build a spider mech, or I'm going to do this.
Yeah, I think like kind of like World of Tanks or something like that, where you're like just vehicles in different teams fighting each other over control points.
Yeah.
That's kind of how it is. At least that's what the original game was, anyway.
Yeah, it wasn't exactly fighting. It's more of that now, but originally it was kind of just like deathmatch. You know, it's like your team had to get like the highest kills and whatnot, or they did like a Rainbow Six Siege type thing. It's like last man standing, and like whoever that last man, that team wins. But now they've definitely got like capture this point, and like you have to stand the point, defend it for an X amount of time, and then that point moves, and so on and so forth. RoboCraft was super fun back in the day, and in fact, RoboCraft was at its apex at the same time that Overwolf Overlay was, and they ended up partnering together, and you could get like this Overwolf robot, and that was like the shit. Like if you saw somebody rocking some Overwolf gear, you were in. And Overwolf has since changed their icon. I think I have Overwolf installed, right? Yeah, I do. Overwolf has changed their icon, and they've done some things, and now it's mostly like a mod loader. But before, it was actually like a in-game overlay that had voice chat, because at the time, Steam didn't have in-game voice chat, or didn't have like built-in voice chat through it. So everyone was looking for a thing, and Skype was heavily used at the time, but Skype doesn't have an overlay, right? You just had Skype over there, and then Skype ate a fuck ton of resources, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And Discord
Good
at
old
the
Skype.
time was not even a twinkle in someone's eye, I don't think. Overwolf was your go-to. There was a couple of different other solutions, but Overwolf was like the king of that. And then Overwolf kind of died off when Discord hit the scene, and Discord's like, we have a fucking overlay, and also we have servers, so like, word up.
And also, we're objectively better than literally everything else.
Yeah. Skype days, dude, that takes me back.
Oh yeah, those were good days.
Mostly good. There were some bad. You just get
Yeah.
you get invited to a random like Skype server, and you're like, this is sweaty.
Those were the days when I was addicted to Payday 2. I played Payday 2 all the time
Mm-hmm.
back then. Oh man.
But yeah, ladies and gentlemen, let me take a look at the time here. Let me see what's going on in the free world. Oh man, I was really hoping I could raid into Richard, but he could still be working out. He's getting his gains today.
Yep. Today is Arms Day, I think.
Yeah, that's what he
Picking
said.
up heavy stuff.
He took a break yesterday because the day before was Legs Day, and he's like, I fell out of my bed.
Gotta take breaks. Don't want to burn yourself out.
Yeah, exactly. Dylan, are you wanting to do anything tonight? You wanna
Tonight?
you wanna have an evening stream at all?
I don't know. I'm down for whatever. We could play a game or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I was thinking maybe we play some Vampire the Masquerade tonight.
Get back into that game.
Yeah, it's been
a while.
Oh my gosh. Yes, we'll play Vampire the Masquerade. We almost forgot to talk about the cycle.
Oh, I completely forgot. I didn't even put that on the list.
Nope.
It didn't even cross my mind.
That's 40 hours of gameplay that almost for nothing.
Yeah, we played that a lot.
The cycle, no, Dylan, you go. I've been
Okay.
talking this whole time.
So, yeah. So the cycle is a sci-fi battle royale. It's kind of a little bit of Tarkov, a little bit of battle royale. It's kind of a mix between the two, really. Um, and the whole premise is that you are a part of like a mercenary group that is trying to get back like resources and research from this planet that that everyone had to abandon because there was a bunch of like there's a bunch of aliens and stuff on that planet and a lot of like natural disasters that make it really difficult for humans to live on the planet. So there's a lot of abandoned facilities all over it and stuff. And the whole like goal is to there's three different groups. There's the science group, there's like the people's group,
Mm-hmm.
and then there's like an industrial group, and they all want different things. And you go around, you ask them what they want, you go down to the planet, and you find what they want. So sometimes they'll want you to kill these certain aliens, sometimes they'll want you to bring back some rocks, whatever. And it's the I think the big issue I have with the game is the difference in power between gear levels.
Mm-hmm.
So like people with orange gear, which is like the highest end gear, can one shot you no matter what if you have the lowest level gear.
Yep.
So playing super stealthily and stuff is usually how I play it because getting in a fight with anyone until you get the best gear is a death wish.
Yeah.
Like you will usually lose because they'll usually have something better than you.
Yeah.
And that's the big problem. But I think it's a cool concept. I really like the gameplay cycle, the gameplay loop, and I really like the setting, the sci-fi setting, because it's cool. It's the environment's really cool. There's a few different maps. Some of them are a lot more PvP focused than the other ones,
Yep.
and there's a lot of like variation in environments too. You got like swamplands, forests, deserts, and it's pretty
Industrial.
cool. Yes, industrial. There's like big like oil rigs and stuff, and research
Yep.
labs and
Signs of human
construction
life.
sites. Yeah, all abandoned because they can't because the rainstorms are the problem on that planet. Like it'll damage you over time if you're out in the rain.
It'll bloody kill you, is what it'll
Yeah,
do.
it'll kill you real quick.
And those storms are intense, dude.
Oh yeah,
They
you'll be sitting
last.
like under a little ledge, and it'll just downpouring lightning
Yep.
everywhere right next to you and stuff.
Yeah, I can't remember. I can't remember if you remember the last time me and you played together, but you ended up dying relatively early in the game, and the rain had just started coming down, and all I had was like that little mushroom cover, and lightning was striking
Yeah.
every second, just like right where I was sitting. I'm like, thank God that there's a hitbox on this fucking mushroom, or else I'd be dead. The cycle to me overall is a really interesting and fun game to play. My issue with it is how hard you have to grind that game to get
Oh yeah.
relatively good gear. The thing with this game is, right, you don't have to pay a single dime for it, right? People can pay money and they can get an expanded inventory, right? But normally you can only bring back 4 things with you if you die. You have a larger inventory than that, but like you have like the inventory of safekeeping, so just in case you die, you still get something out of it. You can craft bags and stuff like that for like your next gameplay loop, but it takes so much junk to do that. But luckily enough, the game is nice, and like after playing your first 2 or 3 games and you do some of the daily missions, they're like you now have enough junk to craft something that mines premium currency for you, so
Hmm.
you can get free real world money. You're like, oh shit, that's dope, and you can upgrade that to make it give you more uh, premium currency. You're like, oh, that's really nice. And then they've got the thing that gives you in-game currency, just like the regular stuff, and it's good. But to add on to compile on Dylan's thing, someone who has no life that game, you're never gonna kill them. Like if you're just starting off, it doesn't matter how many people team up against this guy. If they have top level gear, they're not going down. They're not even gonna think about you. They're gonna pop each and every person in the head, and that'll be it. Luckily enough, most people who are on the PvE map aren't exactly looking for a fight. I feel like most people on the PvE map are just trying to get resources
Yep.
and trying to move on. There are people who will do some player hunting, and sometimes you have to deal with that. But the combat is relatively flipping good as long as you don't
Yeah.
go against somebody with like a purple submachine gun. You know.
Yeah, the guns are pretty cool. And yeah, I've had several situations where I run into someone, I hop on local comms, and I'm like, "Hey, man, I'm just getting stuff, coming through," and they're just like, "Okay," and and we just go our separate ways. So
There was that one experience that me and you had where we went into like that little industrial area because we had to kill that very specific monster, and that's like where it spawned.
hmm
And we walked up onto a team, and they turned around, pointed their guns at us, and we were like, And so like we get on local comms like, we're just here to kill the thing. Like, oh well, we just got attacked. I'm like, oh, well, you want some healing stuff? I got a healing thing or two. And so we kind of bartered and traded, and then when the thing came up, we let them get it first, and then they headed off in whatever direction, and then we waited for it to respawn, and then we did it too. So that was a good experience. You could have a lot of
hmm
good experiences on the PvE maps. I haven't played any of the PvP maps because fuck that.
Yeah, you have to get to a certain level first before you can even go to those maps.
Yep.
But yeah, yeah, it is. If you don't go there with the best gear possible, you're not gonna have a good time.
Yeah, you're just asking for a game reset at that point. You're gonna lose all your shit. There's no way around it.
Oh, speaking of game resets, there's actually a really big thing in the community. So every season, your entire account gets reset. All your quests, all your progress, completely reset back to zero. This goes for everyone in the game.
Does that include your apartment?
Yes.
Oh wow, really?
And so day one, everyone it starts from zero, and everyone goes in and tries to grind as quickly as possible so they can be the one on top player hunting.
Yep.
And that's a huge thing with that game. Every season, it just resets everything, and everyone goes out and starts grinding again.
Yeah, it's almost guaranteed. Like those first 2 to 3 weeks right after a season reset, it's gonna be pretty sweaty.
Yeah, yeah,
You're not gonna have a super great time unless you start right at the beginning. I know a lot of the PvE players will normally just kind of sit around and wait. They'll play a different game for a while and then they'll hop back on. That way they can start doing their thing. And that's perfectly fine. PvP is not for everyone, especially because the PvE system in the cycle works so well.
yeah, yeah. It's very enjoyable.
Um, oh man, sorry. Wow, that was right out of the left field. But it hit me in the head like a coconut, man. I was like, oh shit, the cycle.
Yeah, yeah. I completely forgot about that game, and we played a lot of it.
Mm-hmm.
So,
So how does this sound? We do a couple. What game would you want to end on? For tonight, would you want to end on Vampire the Masquerade, or would you want to end on the cycle?
I feel like the Vampire the Masquerade's a bit more exciting because there's a lot more action in that
Mm-hmm.
game, and the cycle can be kind of boring.
Yeah.
Because especially the way I play, at least. So I don't know.
Probably start off with Vampire the Masquerade and then switch over to the cycle. Then
Yeah, it's kind of like a cool down, like
I
relax.
I can get with that. I can
Okay.
get with that. So Richard is supposed to stream at 5 p.m.
Mm-hmm.
I have zero idea of what he's doing tonight, and in fact, I don't even
Well,
know.
maybe you'll play Risk of Rain.
He's not maybe doubtful. Uh, he's supposed to be streaming right now, and he's not. To my
Yeah,
knowledge, I think he might be a little extra sore. He might just do an evening stream today, if
yeah.
I know him.
He did say in the Discord that he was going to probably delay the stream a little bit today. So
Did
we'll
he put
see
that?
if
Did he
he
put that in
streams.
general?
Uh,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah, he
By,
did.
yep. Okay, yep. I see it. Okay. Why is what a weird interaction. Okay. Any Hoosier. So, 6:30, 7 o'clock. Which sounds better?
Uh, let's do 7.
Okay. So we're gonna be back at 7 p.m. Eastern time tonight. We're gonna be playing some Vampire the Masquerade, and depending on how we feel after that, we'll probably jump over to the cycle. And you guys will get to see some battle royale action going on. Coffee talks next Thursday.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not 100% sure what we're gonna be doing for that, but I really, really, really enjoyed the the amount of interaction that we got by playing Magic the Gathering, and
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
I think that me and Dylan also had just like a really fun time with what we had done. So I think we might be doing some Magic the Gathering again next Thursday. That's going to be at 6 p.m. Eastern time as well. And what we normally do is we'll start off. We'll play a deck that we already have, just because we like to play that deck for one reason or another. And then we'll just kind of we'll do like a wheel spin, whether it's like on archetypes or colors or whatever, and we'll do that, and we just have a really good time. We talk to everybody in the chat, and we it doesn't have to be Magic related. You can talk about anything, and we'll talk to you. If you got questions, we'll answer questions. It's an enjoyable time for everybody, and you get to see me and Dylan get pissed off on stream.
You need to fucking stop.
You're really pissing me off. um, but yeah. So hopefully you guys can make it to our stream later tonight. We're trying to get this evening thing figured out. Sometimes we're just really tired, but I
Yeah.
think we did it relatively well last time we did an evening stream last Saturday when we did some reaction content, watched
Mhm.
American Truck Sim Idiots. Uh,
Yeah, that was fun.
but I really like this idea of kind of talking about something if it's video game related and then playing what we talked about. I think that's a really good way to go about it. With that being said, let me take a look at what we got going here. We're gonna raid into Kitty Chaos. A lot of people don't know Kitty Chaos. They're a small streamer, but they're one of my Native American friends. We met through TikTok, and they're Chippewa. I'm Chippewa. We have a wonderful relationship, and they're just a straight up cool person altogether. So hopefully you guys stick around for a second. Say hello. Be super inviting. And just yeah. We hope you guys enjoyed, and we'll talk to you later.
Yep.
Bye.
Like to support our fellow streamers. Yep.